Here we go, 7th month, 1982. Now this one's worth a follow. If you're on Instagram, I'll get straight into it. Slow Lane Life. Give that one a check out because you'll see the build of this one, some adventures of this vehicle, and also Mark, the owner, is just a car guy. He's some other cool Landcruisers and toys as well. So it's really worth a follow. Also give this video a like, why not, if you're following us. But this one's a 7th month, 1982 FJ45, and she's a doozy. Now, it started its life in South Australia, and Mark is now the 4th owner of this one. So, like most of them, they worked their way around in their 40 plus years on the planet, and it's in good hands now. This came to Mark, it had some camouflage on it. It was, I believe it was white, or the interior shows that it was a white vehicle, but had a lot of camouflage, and it was a different vehicle to what we're looking at now. Now Mark's done this, he's hands-on. We'll go through some of it. He's done a lot of it himself. The paint, the resto, just everything. In some of the interior, absolutely everything himself. Which we'll start with the outside. He's put the BCI wheels and they're genuine hubcaps. Anyone interested, yes, Mr. Landcruiser sells the BCI and the hubcaps. They're on our website. And they just give it a real nice look. Up the front, we've got, I believe, I didn't even ask, but I can tell that's a McKinnon's bar, and he's got the worn high mount on there. Now Mark, I told you he's hands-on, so he's rebuilt the worn himself. It's ready to go. He's just got to put some cable in it, but he's done a full rebuild on that, and it's sported by the IPF lights up the front. Now, look at this. The rooftop was a big part of the attraction for Mark to grab this one, and it has been there since the original owner. We'll have a look inside in a minute, but he's already utilised this. Now I believe he's gone, trips already had, he's gone down the Gradation Road, Victorian High Country, this thing's done Fraser Island, and his journey's only just begun. We were discussing today the long drive for a drought. A lot of the 40 fanatics will know what I'm talking about, and it'll either be this one or one of Mark's other vehicles, but we'll see this one perhaps at Birdsville later on this year. Also, the exterior of this is the 270 awning. He absolutely loves that, makes a great difference for touring. And at the back, its gas bottle is on the spare wheel, which is on its spare wheel carrier. It looks like, actually we'll come around here a minute, I'll go through that in a minute. How about we have a look at the old 2F and underneath the bonnet. Okay, underneath this thing, in the engine bay, I can see a lot of the old wiring, but I tell you, it's really tidy. So maybe Mark's consolidated things and that. It's really neat in here. We're running the Holly, so it might be a bit juicy, but we're chatting and it hums. It's a 4-speed and it hums on the highway. Does its 110 with the 4-speed, and he can overtake a lot more if necessary. Also, under the bonnet, the dual battery system wasn't there since day dot. Mark's custom that himself and put all that in there. So it's set up, he's got a fridge in the back and what have you, and that's for that. Other than that, I don't have much to say. There is a factory power steering. Everything's nice and neat here. Now this is 80s, so in 80s it was an option. By 82, 83, 84, if you owned a 2F, you could choose power steer, so that's a great little bonus that even so many of our customers want power steer to make these easier to drive. Well, this one's got a factory, which is pretty cool. Check out the rear of this thing. Now we're going to go inside, but before we do, keeps the gas, that's really secure. It's not flimsy at all. It's not going anywhere. It's custom little holder there. And check this out. Now some of the 40 series community and the guys that are into these will know what this is. It's a spare wheel carrier. Now it is 1960s, I don't know, it might cross over in the early 70s. Tell us in the comments, but this is old school. Now Mark had that spare on another vehicle. He's built this whole thing with parts from other cars and utilising materials that he's had at home. So that fits a treat. It holds his spare wheel. You'll see some hose there, so we'll go and have a look. The hose is because right at the back door here is a tap, and in that tap it leads to 80 litres of water, which Mark's also put in there. Now check out inside. Inside's really, really cool. It's got a retro look, like it's always been there, but this is built by Mark. The whole rear interior is built by Mark in one day with leftover materials from a project that his brother was doing. So it's all done on a budget, and he's done a great job. I actually thought it had been there since day dot because of the retro feel. The cushions, even these cushions, he did the upholstery himself, again hands-on, giving things a crack, and you can't tell. The seams and everything are really, really nice. You will notice a heap of PTO and some crap in the back here. Now that's one of the reasons of visiting Mr. Landcruiser today, to pick up some used parts off of us, which leads us up into the rooftop camper above. Now, Mark says he can fully stand up in there, and he's not short, so he can fully stand up in the rear to get changed. He doesn't have to get outside of the vehicle. And from up in there, you'll see the double bed, nice and comfy. I believe he toured with his partner, so plenty of space for the pair of them. Really, really neat in there. He's got a, he just blanks out to give some privacy and keep it cool. He's made some heat deflectors for the windows, and that's his touring setup inside. We'll go and look up, there's a few little custom things up the front, so we'll go and have a look inside. Okay, inside now, this was a shut door. Well, it wasn't a shut door.
What?
Mark's pulled the panels off, like the doors, you can see he's painted the doors, the guards bonnet, they all came off, but the cab stayed on and the dash stayed in. So here's where you can see its original colour. And it's really, really clean vehicle. It's in really good condition, and he's kept it tidy up the front. Things like the dash pad, the dash are all in excellent condition. Mark, I'll do a plug for ourselves now. Mark has put in the Noble flooring, and it's such a nice fit. We used to sell something else, but now you can't beat Noble. So we've got that on the internet, Noble, and for those that want it, car builders for deadening underneath, but it just makes a huge, huge difference. He's still got the factory, might need a new set of door cards in the future. Mr. Landcruiser sell them genuine. But the seats, let's talk about the seats. They, not too sure. Now, apparently they've been there since day dot and reupholstered. I can move a little bit of the seat cover here. It's not a 60 series material, so no one's really sure what these seats are out of. But they've been there since day dot, and for now, he's pretty comfy with that. Above our head, you can see the mattress runs right through, so the ceiling, the bedding comes right to nearly the front of the roof, and then he's got like little pilot lights for passenger and driver to see things at night. If anyone knows 40s at night, when they come out factory, you can't read the gauges, them little bulbs don't help, so either LED upgrades or some interior lights. I use an interior light, just flick it on, check my gauges, flick it back off again. Very handy. And he's even got his little toys in here, that's cool. Let's finish this one up. Passenger side, pretty basic. We have a Kmart high lift jack mount. I really had to think then. I've already had 2 coffees, but I had to think. Now, Mr. Landcruiser also have our own version, which I'm biased. I reckon ours is a little nicer, but it is actually a good setup. Kmart, you've done all right. And UHF aerial on this side as well. Now, what I didn't mention, there is aircon setup, factory aircon components in this vehicle. And I asked Mark, is he going to set it up in the future? Now, future plans for this vehicle is he's talking about a Barra this year. Might even see it later on this year with a Barra in it. But if we're going to do an engine conversion, if Mark's going to do an engine conversion, he's going to consider all the bracketry and compressor and that stuff then and not now. So watch this space. I believe he'll have an engine conversion, the aircon, and he'll keep working on this thing. He does have onboard compressor with this one. It's not locked at the moment, but he's got the compressor there. That's pretty much that. This has been really exciting having this vehicle here today. I'd love to take it for a drive, maybe next time. This one is an awesome Troopy. Now, I've got to say again, life in the slow lane, is that right? Slow lane life. Lucky the owner of this vehicle is standing here watching me. Slow Lane Life Instagram. It is really worth a follow because you'll see this build unfold. You'll see it on its adventures, but you'll also see some cool other stuff that Mark tinkers with at home. But for today, this is the second month. It's the seventh month, 1982 FJ45 Troopy.